What's going on, Superman fans? This is my review for episode 11 of season 1 for Superman and Lois. Now, last week felt like a season finale where Superman was able to defeat Morgan Edge's big plan, Kryptonian army. Well, kind of defeat him. Morgan Edge is still around. And then we got to see Superman just outside the Fortress of Solitude. He collapsed because he had to take so much energy to stop the big device that Morgan Edge created to turn people into Kryptonians. So this episode felt like a filler episode, and filler episodes are usually kind of a wind down with characters, a lot of dialogue, just a very easygoing episode. And I was actually enjoying this episode because it showed us the origin for this world's Superman, for this world's Clark Kent. Now, basically, if you've seen Man of Steel, that's what this episode's kind of like, him landing on Earth, growing up with his parents, finding himself in the world, finding out where he came from, finding the Fortress of Solitude, meeting his AI father, Jor-El, learning about Krypton and his powers and training and stuff like that. And then he ends back up in Smallville. He goes to see Lana Lang because he's in love with her, because he was in love with her. Then he left to find himself, comes back, she's a boyfriend, so he has to move on. He goes to Metropolis, gets a job at the Daily Planet, of course, meets Lois Lane, falls in love with her that way. So I like the episode. It was a very easygoing episode. And we got to see Superman in kind of the OG, the suit, the underpants, the red underpants. And Tyler Hoechlin he really looks like Superman. And I'm loving him in the role big time. I really am. I know he had a lot of haters in the past because of maybe his appearance on Supergirl and the crossover events, and the suit wasn't that good, the dialogue wasn't that good. But this season, this show, the budget has been brilliant, the directing, the cinematography, the acting has all been top notch, and has really helped Tyler Hoechlin. And in this episode, which was pretty cool, is that we get to see Tyler Hoechlin's Clark Kent, Superman, save people for the very first time. He dons the suit, dons the cape, and saves people by catching a car. Then a kid, asks him about the suit, nice suit, and he says, "My mom made it." So I thought that was pretty sweet, and that's why he wears that suit. But he gets a much cooler suit later on that we get to see him wear. But the aftermath of him saving these people, you got civilians running to the scene, trying to get a spot of this Superman type savior, and Tyler Hoechlin he's stopping people on the street. He's going, "What happened? What happened?" And they tell him, they describe it. And he feels like that this is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to save people. He's supposed to be this savior to them. But he gets a job at the Daily Planet and he meets Lois Lane. And he soon realizes that, yes, the world needs a Superman, but there's other issues going on that people need to be made aware of. And Lois Lane, says, yeah, it's great that we have this savior, but it overshadows other stuff. Superman is front and center of every newspaper right now, but the other news kind of gets, a little bit overshadowed and not talked about enough. Now, he's not called Superman yet. It's very mysterious what's going on. But we get to kind of find out that this is kind of early 2000s as well, which was pretty cool. He was in Smallville. The movie theater had, I think, Harry Potter. So it's around that era, 2005, 2006, something like that. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, him and Lois Lane start to investigate a few kind of crimes that are going on and a few kind of interesting things that are happening in Metropolis, which is getting overshadowed by Superman. And there's even a cool moment where Superman makes the front page, and one of the journalists, their article is on the front page, and he's very happy and he's celebrating that, of course. But then you have Lois Lane and you have Clark, who is Superman, kind of, they know what they're doing is good work, but it's not getting the recognition or not getting the spotlight that it deserves. But they continue to do it. And in this episode, it was awesome. We got to see Lois Lane interview Superman. And then, she tells one of her colleagues that she's not into Superman. Superman looks like that he's into her, but of course it's Clark Kent. But she's actually in love with Clark Kent. So Lois Lane fell for Clark before she fell for Superman. So I thought that was pretty sweet. And a very important thing to put into this episode, Elizabeth Tulloch, who plays Lois Lane, is brilliant. Tyler Hoechlin, their chemistry is just outstanding. And as I said, this episode felt like a filler episode. But it wasn't. And I enjoyed seeing the origin of Tyler Hoechlin's Clark Kent, his Superman, why he wore that suit, how he met Lois Lane, how he ended up at the Daily Planet. But also, Lois Lane becomes pregnant, he's going to be a father. But in all these kind of flashbacks, he finds himself kind of, envisioning something else. His father, Jor-El, at the Fortress of Solitude, and also this kind of shadow figure that's in the distance, and he can't make it out. He's not too sure. But then, Lois Lane, she's in labour, she's at the hospital, finding out that they're having twins. And Superman realizes that all of this all this memories, all these flashbacks are not real. He's not living them in this moment. Somebody is manipulating him to find out information and go through his head. So we find out, big twist in the episode, that it's not just a filler episode. Morgan Edge has been watching Superman's life through his own mind with some device that he used. And then Clark figures out that this isn't real, and he's snapped back into reality, and he finds himself in the Superman suit at the Fortress of Solitude. His father, Jor-El, the AI version of him, and Morgan Edge is there, Tal-Rho. And Morgan Edge has been looking through his mind to find out more information about where Superman came from. And what Morgan Edge wants to figure out is that why would Clark Kent, why would Superman turn his back on his own brother from his own planet, Krypton? Why would he do that? Why would he sacrifice that to save the people of this planet who are corrupt and actually don't really care about Superman as a person? And why he would turn his back on the people of Krypton and not create a new Kryptonian world? That's what Morgan Edge is trying to figure out and trying to convert Superman. And Superman's a little bit weak this episode because of what happened last week as well. And Tal-Rho, Morgan Edge, is able to kill the AI version of Jor-El, which was pretty sad. And before he was killed, he said to his son, "I love you." So I thought that was pretty sweet, pretty heartbreaking. And then Superman gets a little bit angry and tries to take on Morgan Edge, but he's weak from last week's occurrence and what happened in last week's episode, and Morgan Edge is able to get the better of him and knock him out. And then Morgan Edge, he is going to kill Superman's family unless he converts, unless he submits to him. But while Superman's knocked out, he goes to Smallville, he goes to Clark's family at their home and is probably about to kill them, which is pretty dark. But before that, we got to see Sarah and Jordan finally kiss, and those two are now a couple. We got to see Kyle Cushing apologise to Lois Lane because he doubted her, he was against her, he believed in Morgan Edge. So those kind of storylines got a little bit wrapped up there, forgiveness, and the two teenagers getting together, which was pretty cool to see. But then we get Morgan Edge, Tal-Rho. He ends up at Clark's family's home, and he's about to kill his two sons and kill Lois Lane. But before he can do that, Superman shows up to kind of protect them. But Superman's too weak. And Morgan Edge has been trained in such a way where he has no mercy. He has just pure ruthlessness in his veins. He will do anything to save Krypton or make Krypton again, which is pretty hard to beat. And Superman submits to Tal-Rho. He submits. He's like, okay, I'll help you, just don't kill my family. So Superman, he gives up. He actually gives up so his family can live on. And then we have Tal-Rho brings Superman to kind of his Fortress of Solitude. Superman's Fortress of Solitude is in the snow. It's in a really cold place, while Tal-Rho's Fortress of Solitude is in the desert, heat. So I thought that was pretty cool, the evil versus the good kind of thing, because they were both brought up in different environments. But then we kind of get a flashback to Tal-Rho as a teenager or a young adult, and we get to see him interact with his AI father, which is Zeta-Rho, and we get to see the way that he trained him, which was pretty brutal. He trains him through pain, and that's why he's so angry, and he's such a good villain now in modern day, because he will do anything. He can take anything to make Krypton again. So that was pretty cool. And then we kind of flash back to normal time, and we get to see Tal-Rho talk to his father as an adult now, as Morgan Edge, to Zeta-Rho, and Superman is there, and Clark is like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. And then Zeta-Rho puts Clark through the exact same training he did for his son when he was younger. So it's probably converting Superman to be evil. It really is. And then you see the anger in Superman's eyes. So Superman could be too far gone by next week's episode. And that's why Lois Lane knows that it's happening, that Captain Luthor himself, aka John Henry Irons, was right. Because remember, he came from a different Earth, an Earth where Superman killed his wife, which was Lois Lane, but also killed everybody on Earth and took over Earth and created a new Krypton with Superman and all these kind of Kryptonian clones. So he was right, and Lois Lane knows this, and she rings him and goes, it's happening. Superman's gone. So that means that I always call him Captain Luther because that's what we were told at the start, but John Henry Irons, Steel from the comic books, which is kind of a Steel version of Superman. It's basically Superman, but in this show. And he will be coming with his suit to probably take on Tal-Rho and Superman. So that's pretty badass, and I can't wait to see this happen because the actor Wole Parks, who plays John Henry Irons, is a great actor, and he's been magnificent this season. I love his character, so I can't wait to see him come back, and he's going to have to try and save Earth. So his story, his arc is coming full circle. He came to this Earth to kill Superman because he was in fear that the same thing that happened on his Earth would happen on this Earth, and he was right. He was right. But there's a little bit more perspective because on his Earth, he wanted to kill Superman because all he had known was an evil Superman. But he came to this Earth and he got to see Clark and his family, how good he was. But now we see how Superman turned evil. He did it to save his own family. So hopefully John Henry Irons can save the day and come in and take on Tal-Rho and Superman, which is going to be a really hard feat to do. So maybe he gets some help. I'm not too sure. Maybe Supergirl might make an appearance. That's doubtful. But who knows what's going to happen with the rest of this season. But guys, what was your thoughts on episode 11 for Superman and Lois? Really enjoyed it. I liked all of the kind of origin stuff, the nostalgic feel to it. I did like that. I liked the interaction between Clark and his mother Martha. Thought it was pretty sweet. And stuff like that. I thought it was a really good episode. It was a little bit of filler, but then that twist, that Morgan Edge, that Tal-Rho was looking through Clark's brain was very, very interesting. And then what he's trying to do with Superman now, trying to convert him. And we're finally going to see Superman become the black suit evil version of himself, which is interesting. 4 episodes to go. This season has been absolutely brilliant, guys. Give a like, comment, subscribe, come follow me on all the social medias, movies that matter. But get in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on this episode for Superman and Lois. See you next week for episode 12's review.